fifth graders. Welcome to our technology class. So we're in week 24 now. So this is our week that we're coming back from the break. So you didn't have any new assignments over the break. You were supposed to just catch up on anything that you were missing. If you did email me your work and I haven't updated it yet, that's probably because I just didn't go to your email and check your email yet. I've been trying to do a little bit each day and get caught up. So I'm really sorry if it's taking more days than you were hoping for. Trying to catch up. But I guess, hey, maybe use a little empathy. Now you know how I feel, right? When I give you guys things and I'm like, oh, gosh, it's been like 5 weeks and they didn't send it in yet. So I'm trying my best to get to whatever you're sending in. I know a lot of you have been sending in late things and stuff like that. So we'll get it updated, definitely. Your grade will get updated, okay? And this week there is no typing lesson. So if you need to catch up with the typing, there's no new typing this week. Okay, because I know that I think it was the paragraph practice one had quite a bit of typing. So if you needed to kind of divide that up, then you can finish it this week, all right? So there's no new typing. And hopefully you guys are getting pretty quick at typing these days. Your little typing fingers, you're on your computers all the times, right? So this week we're gonna be talking about cyberbullying, which isn't something new to you, right? I mean, we pretty much learn this every year. But I feel like with the Common Sense Media curriculum, they do kind of build upon it every year and talk about a little bit different things. So we'll be doing that lesson this week and hopefully getting you guys to really just think, even just outside of cyberbullying, like, who are you online? Are you like the things that you type in a chat or a text or whatever, like, is that what you would say in person, face to face to someone? Or are you two completely different people? Because a lot of the times people are like, well, I would never say this to someone's face, but oh yeah, I could type it, right? And they don't ever stop and think how it's going to make someone feel. And it doesn't mean it's cyberbullying, but it can still be really hurtful. And so you always want to stop and think about your words. What kind of words are you using? And like, who are you? You know, if people saw and read all of the threads of the things that you type, would they be like, oh, wow, that person is so nice? Or would they be like, whoa, they're mean. They're like really mean, right? And gosh, I just think as Christians, I mean, we're supposed to be the voice of love and the light and the encouraging voice. We're not supposed to be the voice that's like trashing people and putting them down. So that's definitely something that I want you guys to be thinking about. And yeah, I really had struggled doing these things with the video because I feel like these lessons are so much better with discussions where I could hear your thoughts and I can hear your experiences and we can talk about them together. So again, like I always say this, but if you want to just stop in, if you have something going on, you had something happen online and you just want to talk about it, I am here for you. So you can always just come. And if you want to just talk real quick during your lunch or something, like definitely come and see me. Okay. And what else did I want to say? Oh yeah. And then the assignments, that's kind of your way of sharing your thoughts. So like this week that you're going to have an assignment where you're going to have to read through a scenario of somebody and share kind of your thoughts on it. And so that's a good way for me to hear your thoughts, right? And kind of make it into a discussion. So please make sure you're being thoughtful in your assignments every week. You should be typing them up, sharing them, and then, yeah, just putting some thought in, not just like a one-word answer, right? This is your chance to reflect on things that are so relevant right now. I mean, gosh, like technology is like literally a part of our life. I feel like I stare at a screen more than I look at the sky every day. And that really bothers me. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like my body like craves going outside and seeing the sun and seeing like the clouds and the sky and not staring at a screen all day. But I get it. This is like the season that we're in. And so we have to have balance. And if we feel like it's making us irritable or mean or cranky or whatever, that means it's time to shut down the screen and like go do something. Yeah, like go do something else that doesn't involve a screen. So that's kind of part of growing up, right? Is knowing your limits. When you're getting to that limit where you're just like, I feel like I'm getting pretty cranky right now. I think I need to shut the screen. I need to go for a walk. I mean, I get it. You can't all just go out by yourselves, but you can go do something else that doesn't use the screen, right? And kind of get yourself back into a good place where you're not going crazy staring at the screen. So I just got completely off track, but let's say our lesson is it cyberbullying? What is cyberbullying and what can you do to stop it? So that's what we'll be learning about. So we'll be talking a little bit about the differences between and the similarities between being mean, in-person bullying, and then cyberbullying. And then how can we deal with it? So the question again that you can't really answer, but because I can't hear you, but are there differences among joking, being mean, and bullying? And the answer is yes, absolutely. I hear it in you guys all the times, right? And I feel like it's kind of like you get to that age of like 5th grade, 6th grade, and it's kind of like you think it's funny, like jokes that kind of put down people and stuff like that's funny or something. And I don't even know why that is, but it's not funny, right? And like even though people are laughing and they think, oh, ha, like somebody could really be hurting inside by the joke. And even though it's not like overall meant in a mean way, it's not bullying, it can still be hurtful to someone. And so that's why like I just feel like thinking about when you're joking around with people, like what are you joking around about? And like looking at the people that you're with and thinking like, can this be offensive to them in any way? Like, could this be hurtful, right? And then if you feel like it would be, like, then don't joke around about it, right? And so that's something to think about. And being mean isn't necessarily bullying. Some people are just mean and nasty for whatever reason. I don't know, something's going on in their life. Like, I don't know, they're having a bad day or something. It doesn't make it right, but there is a difference. Like if someone was just mean to you one day, and like it was just like a one-off thing, and it just seemed like, whoa, I don't know what's going on with them, but they were definitely not so nice today. Then just let it go. Bullying, on the other hand, is when it is like repeated. They're doing it every day. You've asked them to stop. You've told them that you don't like it and it hurts you, and they still keep doing it. Because bullying has an intention to harm behind it. So the people that are doing the bullying, the bullies, they are doing it on purpose because they want to harm people and harass people. And so that's when we know it's bullying. So somebody that is just a mean person, and that's just kind of how they are, they don't really target it like any person. They kind of just like that with everybody. Pray for them because there's probably something going on in their life. And like, I don't know, maybe they're insecure about how they look or their grades or whatever. I don't know. And they just act snobby or mean because that's their way of dealing with it. You know what I've learned in my life? People are weird. Like I used like stop and think like, I try every day. I try to be like, and I know I'm not perfect, but like I try to be polite and have manners and things. And people don't always do that back. And if I sat there every single day and was just like, oh gosh, I said hello, they didn't say hello. I smiled, they didn't smile. Like I'd be going crazy. Instead, what you have to do? You just have to kind of in your head just be like, all right, well, I tried and like, I don't know where they're at today. And maybe say a quick prayer for them, bless them in Jesus' name, that, they would receive God's love, and just let it go, right? And so I know some of you guys may be experiencing this right now with amongst your peers and stuff. Maybe somebody said something mean, or, they just kind of seem like snobby or something. And you're just kind of sitting there and like, of course, the natural reaction is like, oh, gosh, did I say something or do something weird? And it's like, it probably has like nothing to do with you. Like I would say probably like 99% of the times has nothing to do with you. It's just that person is dealing with something in themselves and they're just acting mean, right? And if you think even how technology gets involved in this, but you're staring at the screen all day and mom or dad's like, hey, it's dinner, or like, oh, you have to shut it off. Like, did you study or whatever? And you say something mean. I don't want to. Oh, why do I have to? Right? And then you're getting all snobby and stuff. That's when you need to kind of say, whoa, what am I doing right now? How am I talking to my parents? You know, how am I talking to the person that is talking to me? And like, stop yourself and think, whoa, somebody just cooked me a meal. Like, that's amazing. I'm blessed that I have like food in a house and I'm getting snobby because I have to shut my screen off, right? That's when like you need a reality check, I think, of like how blessed you are and to just say, yeah, I'm shutting it down and I'm going to go sit with my family and ask them how they're doing and like care about them, right? And so like this season that we're in, I think like people are just, yeah, they've gotten even more like rude and mean and short tempered because they're dealing with all the stress and they're having so much time on the screens. And so I don't know if necessarily cyberbullying has gone up during this time, but I would probably say that mean, kind of like lack of manners has probably gone up, you know, amongst people as a whole, just simply because people are just going through this season where they're spending so much time isolated and like staring at screens and you know they're just so full of fear and different things and they're just on the edge of their seat every day and living under stress. And so yes, there are things that have happened and yes, we all have these feelings, but at the same time we have to learn how to take control and say, how am I acting right now, right? Because who controls you? I always ask that question to you guys, but who controls you? You make the choice of how you're going to act and what you're going to say. You know, you could try and say, oh, but they said that to me and that's why. But it's like, no. You have a choice in every single day of how you're going to react, of how you're going to act, right? And so that goes with how you are online. Okay, I better stop talking because I could go on and on about this. But so when we think about joking, being mean, and bullying, they are definitely separate things. And again, you have to really think about the people that you're engaging with, you're communicating with, that are around you. If you know them a little bit more, maybe you're able to joke around and you know it's okay. If you don't, you're being a little bit more cautious. You need to do a kind of like a self-check, like listen to your words when they come out of your mouth and be like, gosh, do they sound mean? Like, how do I sound right now? And then stop yourself and then adjust, change your words, right? And make sure that they sound polite and nice. And that's something that you can control. And we're going to talk about the bullying and what we can do about it. But let's watch the video. So they talk about what is cyberbullying. So I'll put it on.
When we're mean, we might say or do things that hurt others. We might be feeling angry, upset, or jealous. It could happen once, or maybe even twice. Being mean is not okay, but bullying is much worse. Bullying is when someone uses their power repeatedly to hurt or upset someone. It could be hurting them physically or calling them names and saying hurtful things. So then, what's cyberbullying? Cyberbullying's like bullying, but it happens on the internet or on a device like your phone, which can make it kind of different. With cyberbullying, it can feel harder to escape because it can happen anywhere, anytime. Also, it's easier for cyberbullies to hide who they are. Plus, other people online could see what's happening and even gang up on someone. If you see someone being bullied, In person or online, what can you do? Give them support. It helps to show that you care. Be an upstander. Stand up for others and say something to the bully. Report what you see and tell a trusted adult. So, what will you do if you see cyberbullying?
Well, hopefully you won't be participating in it, right? You'll be doing something to make sure that you're not engaging in it and that you are the voice of, hey, this is not right. And you're trying to help the victim, the person who is being cyberbullied. So cyberbullying, like they were saying in the video, it can really become like just out of hand quickly. Because if you think about, you guys who are on TikTok, YouTube, any of those like Instagram and things, when you post something and somebody comments, I mean, this happens instantly, right? And it can get out to like everyone so quickly. And so that's why cyberbullying can be so dangerous and hurtful, because whatever you put online, it can get into the hands of pretty much anyone. And I mean, I hope that you guys have an awareness of this at this point. I mean, we've been going over it every single year, but whatever you post, like when you post a TikTok video, I mean, you're posting it out there to the world. And even if you're like, oh, well, it's only my friends, that are on it, they could still take a copy of the video and they could do whatever they want with it. And so you have to really think about, what could happen. And it's fine to enjoy these things, but I think again, you have to be very cautious. That means you have to really protect yourself from what you're sharing online to make sure that it's not something private or something that you would just never want anybody to see, right? And cyberbullies, they can be somebody who is that that's going on and they're commenting and things like that. It can also be somebody that you don't know that's just out there on the internet, deliberately on purpose trying to harm people and harass them. And a lot of the times we don't even know who these users are. Like you guys who are out there on, these apps and games and things, just because somebody has like a username that sounds like it's a kid, you don't even know who it is half the times, who these people are, unless you've actually seen them and met them and they're a friend of yours. Like you don't even know who's commenting. And that can be pretty scary when you think about it. That's why you do have to protect yourself. There's ways like with YouTube, if say you had your own YouTube channel where you could disable the comment feature when nobody could even comment on things. There's ways that you could make it private where, only you could share with people that you want to send it to. And you have to think about the content of like what you're posting and what you're sharing, because I mean, that could get into the hands of anybody, right? So when we're talking about cyberbullying, we have our target, right? That's our person who is they're getting bullied. And then you have the bully, the person who's actually doing the bullying. And that's similar to regular bullying, right? So you have the person, the target, and then you have the bully. And so when we think about why cyberbullying occurs, I mean, I can't obviously hear your responses, but I mean, there's a lot of reasons. I mean, there's people who are out there in the world, they're hurting and they just want to hurt other people. That's kind of like their mission in life. They're online, they're just trying to trash talk, put people down. I mean, we see adults do this all the times on like comments on like news sites and even adults commenting on each other's social medias and things. But to deliberately want to go after somebody, I mean, it's tragic in my opinion, but it does happen. And then we're going to talk about some ways to respond to cyberbullying and ways to become an upstander, because those are definitely important. So if you remember, a bystander is somebody who sees it. So you see the posts, you see the comments, but you don't do anything about it. You're just like, oh man, that stinks. They're being cyberbullied. But an upstander, on the other hand, they actually stand up and they try and support the person that's being bullied. Maybe they reach out to them. Hey, are you okay? Do you need help dealing with this? Excuse me. Um, and maybe they make some comments that are positive. Like, say there was a thread of comments and it looked like everybody was really putting someone down. And then you come in and you're just like, gosh, I love your picture. You're beautiful. Like, you're amazing. And you're filling that person up. And you're like coming in and being the voice of encouragement and of truth. I mean, that's really how it works. We have the power to shift atmospheres and to change cultures. Like, I know that sounds crazy. You're probably like, what is she talking about, shifting atmospheres? It's true. We do. And we can do this online. We can do this in person. If you really believe that you have the Holy Spirit, you have the fullness of Jesus. I mean, like, you have that love inside of you. You should believe that wherever you are, just simply by your presence being there, it's changing the atmosphere. It's changing the culture, right? And so by you going on and putting words of encouragement, sending love and kindness, you are now impacting that app, right? That person's life, their account, right? Wherever it is that you are, you have to believe that you have power. And a true upstander believes that they have power. They believe, I can make a difference in this situation. Have you ever had that like fire in you when something is wrong? Like you see a situation, like say it's a cyberbullying, and you're just like, this is wrong. Nobody should be talking to somebody like this. And it's like an anger rising up in you, right? And you want to do something. That's what an upstander has in them. And they take that and they say, I will go in there and I will support this person. I will help them. I will be the voice of love, right? And that's really where the change comes, because if there were more people who were like that, instead of just being a bystander, I got my life, I'm too busy, I don't care, right? You just go on in your bubble. How's the world ever going to change? How are we going to impact change? We have to be willing to be a voice, right? Open our mouth. Well, get your fingers ready, because usually it's a lot of typing, comments, right? You're playing a game with someone and they're trashing all the other players. Who are you going to be? Are you going to be the voice that's trashing as well? Are you going to be like, this is wrong? And you're going to then be the voice that encourages, right? So that's kind of what I'm trying to get you guys to think about, especially as I'm sure, most of you get more freedom now with technology and you're able to do things on your own. Like you're developing your own digital self, right? And so you have to think about, just like we have character as humans, as people, how we act in person, we need character on the internet, right? Of who we are as a digital citizen. And our favorite word, gosh, do we talk about this word like every year? It should almost be like, I don't even know, like the slogan or something. Empathy, right? Like we need it more nowadays because of technology. I mean, like times have, like if you even, I don't know, any of you guys have talked to your grandparents and how they grew up, they didn't have much technology, right? Their lives were so different. But now for you guys, like technology is like you live on it, right? Some of you are doing school on it. And it's easy to like forget about feelings, forget about thinking about how other people feel, forget about thinking how you feel, right? And kind of just forget about empathy. That's why we need it more now, because we need to have like this awareness of, gosh, okay, so I've been on the screen. How am I feeling about what I've just been doing? And how would it feel if I typed that comment to that person? How would they feel, right? And so we're trying to really think about these things to make sure, again, that the people that we are online is a true reflection of who we really are, or who we really should be. Okay, so let's read. We're going to read a little story now. And this is kind of what you guys are, well, it is what you're going to be working on this week. So let me read it to you guys. So it's a story of Sandra. It says, Sandra's planning a birthday party. Her parents have set a limit of 15 kids, so she can't invite everyone she'd like. 2 kids who were not invited, Jesse and Maya, overhear the plans. They decide to spread mean rumors about Sandra using an anonymous messaging app. They say things like, Sandra is so not cool, not sure why anyone would go to her filthy house. I heard Sandra is having fruit instead of cake. Yuck. Sandra is totally boring, and I don't know why anyone would go to her party. They encourage the students who were invited to the party to add reasons why Sandra isn't cool and tell them to not go to her party. When Sandra logs onto the app and sees the messages, her stomach sinks. She feels hurt, embarrassed, doesn't know who's posting the messages. She tells her parents she's sick so she won't have to go to school the next day. She even thinks about canceling her party. Do you know how often this happens? This is not even like I mean, this is so real that people can be so cruel to each other. And especially on the internet. I mean, there's so many stories of people posting pictures and other people, the things they say about them, people starting full on kind of like secret accounts just to post and trash other people. And then when those people find out about it, I mean, they're devastated. And, you know, as we get into middle school, we're going to be talking a lot more in depth about some topics that are very important, which some of you may have even had some exposure to it now, but there are certain things that you should never, ever post on the internet, including any images of you that would be something that would be completely inappropriate. And I'm talking about things that have to do with your body, with your private areas on your body. These are things that, believe it or not, kids are getting into, and they are so hurtful and so harmful. I mean, it brings cyberbullying to a whole other level. And so you have to be very careful about who you're sharing with, what you're sharing, that you never, even if it's your bestest friend in the whole wide world since pre-K4, share anything like that you wouldn't want the entire world to see with anybody, okay? Because the internet is so quick and so fast, and these things get out there, and it is just, it can really, it wrecks people's lives. Okay, so you guys have to really take this seriously. And so in this situation, she's having the party, and to be starting and these messages trying to, well, don't go to her party because, and coming up with all these things. So you're gonna, in the situation, you're gonna say who the target is, who the bully is, who the bystanders, upstanders are, and then you're gonna think about the feelings. So I want you to really be thoughtful in this. If you were Sandra, how would you feel? And then it says, why do you think Jesse and Maya acted the way that they did? Could anything have been done so they wouldn't have acted this way in the first place? So maybe think about that. And if you were Sandra, what would you do to try to stop the cyberbullying? And if you were one of Sandra's friends, how could you be an upstander in the situation? So it's really getting you to think about this, because this could be something that you could find yourself in the middle of. And then what would you do? How would you act? Right? If we don't learn these skills and try to really understand how to act in these situations, then we'll never know. And I can tell you with cyberbullying, it's very important to never ever respond back, because then you're making yourself just as guilty as them. Always tell a trusted adult, because sometimes, believe it or not, police may need to get involved depending on what was shared. If it was underage, inappropriate photos or things like that. Again, law enforcement, these things are illegal. And if somebody was harmed, right? So you should always tell an adult. Don't ever feel like it's your fault or embarrassed. It's always the best thing to share it with an adult, to never respond back. It may even require blocking somebody. in some cases notifying the actual app, whoever runs it, to let them know how what happened with the user, so they can take the proper steps on their side, right? So these are some things for you guys to think about, right? And in your like online life, of how to keep yourself safe and how to handle it if you ever do come across a situation like this, which I hope and pray that you guys are being safe online, and that you're protecting yourselves, and that you surely are not the cyber bullies. I sure hope that's not the case, that you guys are being kind online. There's a short quiz that goes along with this. So there's 4 questions. They're multiple choice, and they all are just similar. They're just scenarios about cyberbullying, and they ask you to choose the right answer. So that is your assignment. So you have to type the answers to these questions and then do the quiz with the 4 questions. And then really just take some time this week and think about, like, who are you online? You know, if somebody were to look at everything that you've ever typed, and even private chats and things, who would they'd be like, oh yeah, they're really nice. Or would they be like, whoa, who is that person? It's like a different personality online, right? So really think about who you are. All right. Sorry, this probably went on for way too long, but it's an important topic. So, okay, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.